Hello and welcome. I am live from Pellam's Wasteland, and today I have another episode of Pellam's Wasteland Reads for you all. This time covering two books that I read recently, and that I had, I would say, fairly high expectations for both, and absolutely adored both of them. I thought they were both really, really great. Um, and so I wanted to talk about them. So the first is The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton, and the second is The Landbreakers by John Ehle. So I have read a little bit of other G.K. Chesterton. I know I read his poem, the Ballad of the White Horse, a number of years ago, and I think I've read one or two others. Um, maybe something short. I don't remember precisely. And then I haven't read any other John L. Although I went ahead and got myself a copy of his The Time of Drums. So I'm excited to read that after having enjoyed The Landbreakers so much. Um, but these are two books that I would say are fairly different. But like I said, both really excellent. The Man Who Was Thursday is a story about a special sort of policeman, a philosophical policeman, um, who operates in the shadows as this undercover agent attempting to combat the philosophical opposition to Western civilization. Basically, he is a undercover agent taking on anarchists and all of these other enemies of the state and civilization and all of this sort of stuff. These nihilists and anarchists and communists and all of these different um, uh, organizations and secret operations in opposition to the things that our protagonist Gabriel Syme believes in. And in order to do this, he, as like basically all great undercover agents does, ends up getting deeper and deeper into the organization to eventually find the leadership of this organized anarchy, um, led by a man under the pseudonym of Sunday. Their high council operates, each of them with a pseudonym for a day of the week. So Syme ends up becoming Thursday, and President Sunday is our kind of ultimate uh, implacable antagonist that Syme is opposed to. But that makes this sound much less twisty and turny and just so fun than the book actually is. The book is just so fun and goofy and weird, and there's all of these uh, hilarious kind of back and forth ridiculous moments, and it's truly a a wonderful kind of blend of um kind of comedy, not in the sense of like lots of jokes in the book, but of this kind of comedic and humorous ridiculousness, this pervasive sense of humorous unreality, that is alongside this exciting and even sort of essentially a political thriller, that is about a organization, a secret organization of philosophical policemen fighting for the soul of Western civilization in this unacknowledged clandestine war with the Council of Anarchists. And it's so good. It's so fun and lovely and just a wonderful, wonderful book. And I don't want to say too much more about it because I fear to spoil anything in this book, because it is a book that I think would probably suffer from too many spoilers, but is also just so fun and cool and totally worth reading if you, I suppose, have the same sort of sensibilities as me, which is that reading a thriller about an undercover police officer sounds fun, but it sounds even more fun if the undercover police officer is a philosophical policeman, um, who is entwined in all these kind of strange and absurd twists and turns of circumstance. And it's yeah, it's just so good, and I loved it so much. um and the other one I loved as well. I thought The Landbreakers by John Ehle was also really spectacular. um John Ehle apparently wrote this whole series of books that are all set in kind of the same region of Appalachia. Basically, this is the first within the internal chronology, but it was not the first published. And it is set in basically the last decade of the 18th century, the 1790s, basically. And our group of settlers have arrived in this valley in Appalachia and are attempting to, carve out a new um, homesteads on this land to create a new thriving settlement in the wilderness, essentially. Um, and it is raw, and it is such a a different flavor from The Man Who Was Thursday, where so much of the book is about this kind of immateriality and subterfuge, and the Landbreakers is so um, tremendously material. The suffering of these characters and their engagement with the world, so much really kind of fantastic, tangible detail in the way that they survive in this harsh environment. The processes that they use um, to survive, all of the ways that they like, are processing foodstuffs, and what they eat, and what they're making cloth out of, and what type of crops they are growing, and how they are keeping care of their livestock, and the predations of wolves and bears and things like that, and how they are putting together log cabins for themselves, and the difficulties of surviving in this environment. And it is really, really just exceptionally realized, kind of this intense and um, so raw and material a story about frontier life, essentially. This small community, starting off very, very small, and then kind of gradually growing as new settlers filter in, and the struggles between settlers, the way that there are kind of growing difficulties of temperament, and the outsized personalities of some of these characters, alongside the very, very kind of, um, like I said, very, very material, very tangible, very kind of earthy sense of the struggle of existence. The need for raising crops to feed the families, the need for protecting livestock, the need for effectively processing the raw material of the wilderness into something livable, but also the way that the kind of limited advantages of civilization are so critical for survival. This is a community that it's not like they can make their own axe heads, or their own uh, guns, or anything. All of this, you're not gonna forge new plows. They have to, they can make the wood for the plow harness, but they can't, the actual like metal plow itself, you have to buy that from civilization. And so there's this kind of struggle at the edge, but that is also kind of necessary to connect back to the larger world, and all of these different things. And as you might imagine, some of the characters have, shall we say, fled civilization because they did not fit in that well, whereas others of them have this kind of dream of making something better for themselves and their families. And it's really a fascinating story of this, collection of families living, struggling on the frontier, um, running into all sorts of difficulties of life out in the woods, basically. It turns out all sorts of things that can go wrong, but um, yeah, it's really a lot of fun to read about, even though I'm sure that it would not be very fun to live. But yeah, The Landbreakers by John Ehle. I'm going to have to read more of his books because I liked this one so much. I think I already mentioned that I went ahead and bought another one. So we will see what the next one holds. Because I liked that first, The Landbreakers, and I liked The Man Who Was Thursday so much, and I'm gonna have to read more Chesterton. And so, as usual, I keep reading things and liking things and adding to the total list of things that I need to read and that I will like and all that sort of stuff. But that's okay. Anyway, both of these, The Man Who Was Thursday and The Landbreakers, recommendations from me. And if you have any thoughts about either of these books or something related to either of these that you think I should check out or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I've been live from Pellam's Wasteland, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.